Hello. I'm very excited about this. I am going to be reviewing the first episode of PlayStation's new TV series, Powers. It's been out for quite a while now, but I haven't had any reason to watch it until recently when my internet was going wacky and I couldn't watch anything on YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I think PlayStation has the TV series out. I checked, I'm like, yup, and it's free, so I checked it out, and it sucked. This was the single worst TV show I've ever watched in my entire life. I'm not even kidding you. Just everything about it was just horrible. And at the end, I'm gonna tell you the real reason that they made this thing. However, let's just go down the list, because I have a hefty one right here. Let's see. Okay. So, this show has the most blatant ways of telling about past events. There's the dude. The premise of the show is, there's people with superpowers, and those people are nicknamed Powers, and, this one guy used to be a Power, but now he doesn't have his powers, so he works for the Powers division, basically for the police, who works for the division that deals with taking down and imprisoning the Powers, and that's what he does now. And I've only watched episode 1, I'm just saying, so I'm not judging the plot, in terms of, I don't know if he's ever going to get his powers back. I assume he will be, and that's another problem with the show, is how predictable it can be. But keep in mind, I have only watched the first episode, and then half of the second, because I wanted to give it another shot. However, then it wouldn't let me continue. It's like, you're done watching. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm done. So I don't know what that was about, but anyway. So he's not a Power anymore, and he was in... Oh, no, wait, was he in the car? No, he was talking to some random girl who was, nailing some dude. I don't know. So, he's talking to her, and she said, how did you find out you had your powers? Or something like that. And then he goes into his whole childhood. He's like, oh, I jumped off a building, and I flew away, and some crap like that. And I'm like... First of all, if you watched the episode, you would see that she had absolutely no reason to ask him that question. It was just she asked it because we needed to know. It was so blatant, but that's not the worst one. Maybe you can excuse that one. Maybe. Tell me if you can excuse this one, and I will pay you if you can. There was a news report about a Power going all wacky and causing... Birds, man. Go away. They built a nest right outside my air conditioner. Why don't you leave me alone? You're so loud. I'm gonna destroy that nest today. I'm going out there with a pole and destroying that thing. I don't care if they built their home there. They built their home somewhere else. So there is a Power who went and caused a bunch of mayhem in the police station, or in the Powers division, police station. And the Power who is no longer a Power, I forget his name because it's pretty, Walker, that's his name, Walker. So Walker saves the day and kills the Power who was going all wacky and causing mayhem, and then there's a news report about it, and then they said, and Walker saved the day, but not as he used to. And then he's like, back in the day, he used to work with all these Powers, and he did all this, and this is what he did, and this is who he worked with. No news report goes into the backstory of, a criminal, or a hero, or a cop, or anything. No news report does that. And if you watch it, you see just how bad it is. Because maybe they could even make it work somehow, but they so totally didn't. It was just in episode 1, there's 2 or 3 instances of just blatant ways of telling about past events. It's so obvious. And I have where's this going? Oh yeah, when the girl asked how'd you find your powers, it was because it was when she was being interrogated, and yeah, so why would she really care about that? And then after that, she said, yeah, that's right. And then after that, they tried to excuse the fact that she asked him, right? Because she said, because I have powers, but it's hard to find them. But you know you have them. You know you have your powers, so what do you mean it's hard to find them? Then how do you know you have them? He found them from jumping off a building. How do you know you have them, but you can't find them? No one's gonna tell you, yo, you got powers. You don't know. It makes no sense. So no, don't excuse it. It's awful. The special effects, I put that there were poor special effects. Then in parentheses I put, actually no, they're horrible. Oh yeah, they are. And now listen, I'm not gonna bash it. You know, the series I'm making, The Realm, isn't gonna have half the special effects this has. And also the acting is horrible in this series. But The Realm isn't gonna have half the acting that this has, and I'm not saying it will. But for a low budget film made by some random guy in his bedroom is not supposed to. This is made by, I guess it was made by Sony. I mean, was it the PlayStation division that made this? I don't even know who made this, but like Sony, a company like that, making this show, it's supposed to be a lot better. Like, I have an excuse for it being horrible. The Realm isn't gonna be this good, but this should have been better for who made it and for how it was made and for the budget. And I mean, that's why I'm bashing some of this stuff, because it's like inexcusable. It's lazy. The poor special effects. Now, this guy's looking out, Walker is looking out the window or standing on his balcony, and he sees powers, like these two powers fighting in the sky in the distance, and I was like, yo, you serious with that special effect, bro? And then after that, there's this dude who can teleport, right? And when he teleports, he just disappears from the shot, but it's so obvious that it's like they were shooting, then they're like, okay, stop, everybody freeze, don't move a muscle, you move out of the scene. Now we're gonna continue. And then they just clipped out the part where he moved, and then they put a little bloop sound effect, which makes no sense, and then he was gone. It's like the special effects that I could do, they really are not that good. And the acting is not convincing enough, it really is not. I'm gonna say this to last because I want this to, that ties in with my theory of why they made the show. The story is extremely cliche. It is just this one guy whose partner dies, and he gets a new partner, and they don't get along at first, but I guarantee you later on they will. They don't get along, and then they have to build this relationship, and one of them wants to get along, and the other one doesn't, and it's a struggle, and you know, the whole superhero thing has been done before, and these powers that people have are nothing special, and it's cliche, it's been done. Jackie from The Walking Dead was in one scene, so I gave a thumbs down for that. Next, the guy's partner died, right? As I just said. And so he got a new partner. And it's this girl. And she's in the back. No. She's in the car with Walker. And they're driving to a friend's house. Not the friend's house. Whose house are they driving to? He was driving to a house to drop off the box with the belongings of his dead partner. You know, the stuff from his desk at the office was in a box, and he's bringing it and delivering it to a house. I don't know if it was the guy's wife, or I'm not sure. They didn't really say, I don't think. I may have missed it, but so he's driving there, and the stuff is in a cardboard box in the back seat, right? It's in a cardboard box. What do you think of when you see a cardboard box? Do you think of the belongings of a dead partner from his desk back at the precinct, or... Because apparently this girl does. His partner said, "Where are we going?" And then she looks in the back seat, sees a cardboard box, says, "My condolences." How did she know? It had a top on it. How did she know what was in that box? She didn't. She didn't know. How the hell did she know what the box was? That's just... What is this show? The partner sheriff girl looks 12. Yes, his new partner looks like a 12-year-old. And why do I have a problem with this? Not because, like, look, Emily Kinney, alright, who played Beth on The Walking Dead. She's 29. I don't think she turned 30. I think she's still 29. But she looks incredibly young for her age. And so on The Walking Dead, she was able to portray, I believe, a 17-year-old girl? How old was Beth? I don't know. She was young. Because she looks incredibly young. So even though she's 29, she was able to portray a teenager. But this girl, it doesn't work the other way around. This girl looks 12, but she's trying to play the role of, like, I guess I'm just gonna say a police officer. Even though they work for the Powers Division, I don't know what you want me to call them. I'm calling them a freaking police officer. So she looks 12, and the problem with it is it's so unconvincing. I cannot watch the show and look at her and think that that's a police officer. I'm not bashing her because she looks extremely young, and I'm not saying that young girls can't play these roles, but when you have a role like that, you need someone who looks convincing. Emily Kinney is older, but she looks convincing as a teenager. This girl is so young, she doesn't look convincing as a police officer, and it's hard to watch and to believe the story when something like this is going on. So, I don't know how old the chick is in real life. I don't know how old she actually is, but she looks way too young to play this part. And I don't want to bash her, I don't want to, like, age discriminate or anything, but it doesn't work. I'm sorry. It's just when you go for an audition and you're not convincing in the role, they don't give you the role. She is not convincing in this role, so she should not have gotten it. Next, the dude who I mentioned before who can teleport, so if he was holding my neck, right, like this, and then he teleports, my head goes with him. I don't know why, but that's what happens. Okay, that's his power. Sure, I'll deal with it. But let me do a thing. Okay, so you and your screen, right? You are the guy who he is gonna grab. I'm the guy with the power, right? Okay, let's do this. So I'm the guy with the power, and I'm standing right here, right? Here we go. So I'm standing right here, and you're right there. So there's about 2 feet, no, let's say 5 feet. There's about 5 feet between you and me, right? This is a 5-foot distance right here. Okay, so he's chilling like this, and then you're the guy, right? So I go and I grab your head, right? I grab it, I'm grabbing it right now. And if I were to teleport, it would go with me. Isn't that how that should have gone down? No. What happened is, we're 5 feet away. That's it. We're just like a short 5-foot distance. And the guy teleports from here to here. And then grabs the guy's neck, and then teleports. So, okay. Why would you teleport 5 feet? They just wanted him to use his powers. It made no sense. I laughed so hard when I watched that. I was like, what the hell is he doing? You're 5 feet away from the guy and you're teleporting to him? This is sad. It's a sad excuse for a show. They have a lot of cursing and sexual references, which is, I'm not saying that's bad. Like, you can put that in, a show or a movie. But it's for no reason. It's like so blatant that they just want attention and that they just want the audience to keep watching because they're like, yeah, this show sucks, so we need something in here to keep them. But seriously, like, it's awful. Like, it's so blatant. It's like the cursing is for no reason. Sexual references, no reason. Now, some of them might be, like, okay to put in, but some of them are not, and it's obvious that some of them are thrown in just for attention. And if it's not just for attention, then it's sloppy writing. That's all. There are commercials in this show, right? And I don't mean like commercials like in the show. I mean like you're watching the show, the episode, and then there's a commercial break, which you can skip, but you don't want to skip them because they're actually more entertaining than the actual show. So when they come on, it's like a relief. It's like, I got a good 30 seconds of relief, however long they are. But when the commercials are more entertaining than the show, there's something wrong there. There just is. And okay, and this is the last thing, and then I move on to my theory of why they made the show. So, this dude who lost his powers, Walker, right? They were taken from another power known as Wolf. So this guy, Wolf has his powers. Wolf has Walker's powers. So Walker goes to visit Wolf, because the guy who can teleport, Walker thinks is dead. But then he has reason to believe he's alive. And he goes to Wolf because Wolf supposedly killed him. So he goes to Wolf to see, is he really dead or is he alive? And he goes to ask Wolf. So he's asking him, and Wolf is extremely, he's a really dangerous power. And, you know, you have to go in this big isolated facility, down an elevator that goes way down. Then you gotta go in a bunch of different corridors, a bunch of different doors blocking it. He's extremely dangerous. And, he's put in place by, like, a few handcuffs or something. I don't really know why that's all they have on him, but whatever. So the dude, Walker walks into the room. Hey, the bird stopped. Just noticed. Now they'll come, I jinxed it. So Walker's walking into the room where Wolf is, right? And they're giving Wolf some sort of a treatment that keeps him from using his powers, that keeps him from acting up and from getting all intense and stuff like that. So Walker walks up to Wolf, and he's well known as being a power, so he's respected. Right, so he's like, back off, I want to talk to Wolf, and they do it. And he's right up in Wolf's face, and he's asking questions like, is this guy dead? Is this guy dead? He's asking questions about what happened in the past. And Wolf is starting, because they didn't finish the treatment, they didn't give it to him. So Wolf is starting to act up a little bit, and they're like, back away, sir. You know, they have their guns out, they're ready to shoot Wolf. And they're saying, Walker, you gotta back away, because he was too close to Wolf, they couldn't shoot Wolf. And then, at the end, it turns out, and they were doing this for a good, 20 seconds. They were like, sir, you have to back away! He's like, sir, you gotta back away, holding their guns. It turns out, at the end, all they had to do was press a button on the wall. Just press a button. And, yeah, that's it. Then Wolf gets, sucked down to the, I don't know if it was a magnet or, but you press a button on the wall, and that's all they had to do to stop Wolf. So why were they telling this guy to back away, pointing guns, saying, we have to shoot him, back away, when you could have just pressed a button, and Walker was in no real danger? Could have done that with him right there. It makes absolutely no sense. They just wanted that intense type of moment, you know, with the guns, and oh, what's gonna happen? But at the end, it made no sense. It was so anticlimactic. It's like, let's just press this button real quick. It made no sense at all. And the last point. Oh my god. No, there's a lot more. Okay. Forgot how bad it was. This is just from one episode. So everything in the show, and I mentioned this before, is way too predictable. It's that type of show that you can say, oh yeah, I know it's about to happen. That's always a bad thing. And if you watch, you will see, you know where the plot's going. You really do. And that's just, it really just doesn't help to make you want to watch the show. And, it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It really is. And I've already know here, the sets are not convincing at all. And yeah, that's totally true. They're on a roof. Oh my god, that roof though. Oh bruh. Oh my god, the roof. Don't remind me of the roof. It was such a bad set. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, you're just sitting in this made up thing that's supposed to look like a roof, the top of the roof, and that was just surrounded by green screens. And it was obvious. A lot of shows do this, I bet. A ton of them. But none were as obvious as this. Oh my god. And nope, that's it. I also just wrote that there's nothing that makes me want to keep watching, and, well, yeah, that's true. And the final thing is my theory of why they made the show. The show is an ad for Sony products. That's it. This show is an ad for Sony products, specifically their cell phones. Every single person in the show is the same goddamn Sony phone. I've never seen this many Sony phones out in the wild before. I've never seen this many in real life. I've never seen one in real life, and every single person in the show has the same exact Sony phone. And whenever they show the phone, the Sony logo is right in view of the camera. It's so stupid. And they don't even have their phones out for any reason. Like, there's just a random phone in the opening credits. That's first of all. And then, there's this random phone. Some chick is holding the phone, and then she's like, "Oh, Walker, you used to be a Power. I knew about that on the Used to Be Powers app." Or something like that. And she's holding the phone and it zooms in on the screen. I'm like, yo, this app doesn't need to exist. It has absolutely nothing. Why couldn't you say, "Oh, I know you because you're famous"? That would make a lot more sense. It really would. Everyone has the same exact Sony phone. I've never seen a Sony phone in the wild, ever, and I've seen like 5 of them. Like, everyone has a Sony phone. There's not one person in the show who doesn't have a Sony phone. And every time they have a Sony phone, they make sure they zoom in and show you that big old Sony logo. Awful. And then there's this dude wearing headphones like around his neck, people. And it has a Sony logo right there, right, on the ear cuff that's right here. He's not even wearing the headphones, just around his neck. And then I think there's one shot where he puts them on, and then he walks away. Like, just so that they're like, okay, he had them on for a reason, but he wasn't even wearing them. It's just for product placement. Product placement for the win, people. So that's all I have on this show. It's awful. That's all from episode 1. I think the guy with the headphones might have been from the first half of episode 2 that I watched, but everything else is episode 1. It's the worst show I've ever watched in my life. And don't think, oh, I gotta watch it now because Alex is talking about it on Media Republic. No, please don't. It's an awful show. It's so bad. Save yourself and spare yourself and seriously stay away from this show. It's awful. However, it's kind of funny bad. So if you do want a good laugh, check it out, but do not pay for this thing. Get it for free. Do not pay. I believe it's free for PS Plus. I think episode 1 is free for everybody, actually. So just go and watch episode 1 and you'll run for the hills. You will never watch this show again in your life. It's awful. And I refuse to get, the first half of episode 2 was really bad, and then it wouldn't let me continue watching. I'm like, what the hell is this? But, it wouldn't let me go on. I'm like, that's fine with me. It was awful. And I wanted to give it another chance. I was like, maybe it gets better. No, it doesn't. I can tell. Man, it was so bad. And the ending of episode 1, just in case you actually care, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was awful. Like, it was just, they just ended it. It's like, it didn't feel like an ending even. This show sucks. So, I recommend you stay away from it. But if you do watch it, or if you have watched it, let me know what you think of it. And that's pretty much it. So, I know that not much content has been coming out here in Media Republic, but we are trying. The Realm is taking up a lot of time now, and some of that content will also be posted on Media Republic. So that's how we're going to get some content in the summer. And that is pretty much it. So if you don't know what The Realm is, I'll put a link below to the official preview. It is a new TV series or web series I'm starting over on my main channel, and this channel will have some extra footage or we're not sure what we're doing. We might do like, how The Walking Dead is Talking Dead. It's like a show after this show. I might do something like that. It's just, me and anyone else involved in the episode. We're just, chilling there, which is pretty much the same 3 people. It's a small crew, and that's meant to be. And we're just gonna sit there and kind of talk about the episode, and that'll probably be posted all on Media Republic. But the actual show will be on my main channel, link below. So thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think of this show, and if you haven't watched it, don't watch it just to let me know what you think of it. Just stay away. Thank you for watching one more time, and I will see you next time. Peace.